Let me ask you something nobody ever asks. What if focus was never something you lost? What if it was something that was taken from you, on purpose, by people who profit every second you cannot hold a single thought? I know that sounds dramatic for a video about concentration. Hear me out, because this one idea is going to reframe everything you think you know about discipline, willpower, and why you cannot read 3 pages without reaching for your phone. The average person now touches their phone 2,617 times a day. The top 10% of users cross 5,400. Researchers at the University of California found that once your attention breaks, it takes 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to the original task. You break your attention dozens of times an hour. Do that math and you find something uncomfortable. Most people are never actually focused. They are only ever recovering. There are 7 levels of focus. Each one costs something different. None of them tell you the price before you pay it. Let's climb. Level 1. The scroll. This is the absolute ground floor, and most of the planet now lives here without knowing it. At this level, attention does not hold for more than a few seconds before it slides off. You open a document. You read one line. Your hand moves to your phone before your brain decides to move it. You pick up the phone to check the time. You put it down 9 minutes later without ever seeing the time. Here's the part nobody says out loud. This is not a character flaw. This is the designed outcome. The apps in your pocket were built by teams of behavioral engineers whose entire job is to fracture exactly this layer of your attention and keep it fractured. Variable reward schedules, infinite feeds, notifications timed to the gap in your dopamine. You did not fall to this level. You were lowered into it. The cost of level 1 is invisible because it feels like rest. It is not rest. Rest restores you. This drains you and tells you it is a break. People here end most days more tired than they started, unable to point to a single thing they actually did. And the worst part is the slow erosion of a specific belief. You stop thinking you are capable of deep thought at all. Level 2. The flicker. Things get slightly more functional here, but only slightly. At level 2, you can hold attention, but it is fragile, and it shatters at the first interruption. You can work for maybe 8 to 12 minutes before the pull starts. You feel the urge before you understand it, a tightness, a restlessness, a quiet voice saying, check something, anything. People at this level get real work done, but only in the cracks. Early mornings before the world wakes up, late nights after it goes quiet. They have learned that their focus only survives in environments with nothing else in them, which means they have quietly accepted that they cannot focus in normal life at all. The cost here is consistency. You cannot predict your own mind. Some days the focus shows up and you fly. Some days it never arrives, and you cannot explain why. You start to organize your entire life around protecting a thing you do not control. You pick up your phone to check the time. You put it down and 20 minutes are gone, and you still do not know what time it is. Level 3. Functional focus. This is the middle of the bell curve, the place where most working adults live and call it normal. At level 3, you can sit and do a task for 25 to 45 minutes. You can finish what you start. You can sit through a meeting and retain most of it. By the standards of the modern world, this feels like a superpower, and that should tell you how far the baseline has fallen. But notice what level 3 actually is. It is not deep. It is maintainable. You are processing, responding, executing. You are clearing the inbox of your own life. You are busy, and busy feels like focus. And that is the trap. You can spend an entire career at level 3 and produce nothing that required you to go deeper than the surface. The cost is the ceiling. At this level, you handle complexity, but you rarely create it. The hard, original, valuable work, The kind that requires holding many pieces in your head at once for a long time, lives one floor up, and most people never knock on that door. They mistake motion for depth and wonder why the years feel full and empty at the same time. Level 4. Sustained focus. Here is where it starts getting rare. At level 4, you can hold a single demanding task for 60 to 90 minutes without the pull breaking you. You feel the urge to check your phone, and you let it pass without acting on it. That sounds small. It is enormous. The ability to notice the impulse and not obey it is the entire game, and almost nobody trains it. People at this level get more done in 2 hours than most people do in a day. Not because they are smarter, because they are uninterrupted. They have done something the lower levels cannot imagine. They have made their attention boring to themselves on purpose. No tabs, no notifications, no second screen. Just the one thing, long enough for the one thing to open up. The cost is loneliness of a strange kind. The deeper you go, the less the world around you understands it. People interrupt you and feel rejected when you protect the block. You start declining things. The phone stays in the other room now. You go to check the time on your laptop clock and realize 90 minutes have passed and a real piece of work exists that did not exist before. For the first time, the lost time produced something. Level 5. Deep work. This level exists in a different universe from the 4 below it. At level 5, the task stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like momentum. 2-3 hours pass and you are inside the problem, not standing outside it. The work talks back. You see connections you could not see at the surface. This is the layer where the valuable things actually get made. Research, code, writing, design, strategy, the work that pays for itself 1,000 times over. The cost is everything it demands to get here. Deep work requires a price most people will not pay. Long stretches of no input. Boredom held until it cracks open into insight. The willingness to feel restless and stay anyway. You cannot buy your way to level 5. You cannot hack it. You can only build the muscle slowly, by sitting in the discomfort of the lower levels until your mind stops trying to escape. And there is a darker cost. Once you have been to level 5, the lower levels start to feel unbearable. The scroll, which used to feel like a break, now feels like static. You have tasted what your mind can do, and you cannot untaste it. Level 6. Flow. Rare air. This is the level athletes, surgeons, and artists chase their whole lives. At level 6, the self disappears. There is no you watching you work. There is only the work. Time distorts completely. 4 hours feel like 40 minutes. Your performance jumps to a level you cannot access deliberately. Psychologists have measured it. In flow, the prefrontal cortex partially quiets. The inner critic goes silent, and output climbs by as much as 500%. You cannot force flow. You can only build the conditions and wait. A clear goal, immediate feedback. A challenge that sits exactly at the edge of your skill, hard enough to demand all of you, not so hard that you panic. Get the conditions right often enough and the state arrives. Get them wrong and it never comes. The cost is fragility. Flow takes years to learn how to summon, and one notification to destroy. One ping, one interruption, one person opening the door to ask a quick question, and the 4-hour cathedral collapses in a second and takes 23 minutes to even begin rebuilding. People at this level become almost militant about their environment, and the world reads that as arrogance. It is not arrogance. It is grief, learned in advance. Level 7. Total absorption, the rarest of the rare, the level most people will never witness once in their lives. At level 7, focus is no longer a state you enter. It is who you have become. The masters live here. The person who spends 30 years inside one craft until the craft and the mind are the same thing. There is no distraction to resist because nothing competes anymore. The work is not something they do. It is the shape their attention has permanently taken. This is the level that produces the things that outlast the person who made them. The symphony, the proof, the body of work, not built in a burst of motivation, but accumulated across thousands of unbroken hours that nobody saw. And here is the cost the other 6 levels never warned you about. You only get one attention, and it is finite. And every single thing you pointed it at is something you did not point it at. The master who gave 30 years to the craft gave 30 years to the craft. The people, the ordinary afternoons, the life happening in the next room while the door stayed closed. Total focus is total sacrifice, wearing a more flattering name. Now let me bring this full circle. We started with a question. What if focus was taken from you on purpose? You have now seen the answer climb through 7 levels. And here's the part the ladder hides. The entire economy of the modern world is built to keep you at level 1. Not by accident, by design, with budgets in the billions, by some of the smartest engineers alive. Your attention is the product being sold. The lower the level you live at, the more of you there is to sell. Everyone tells you to focus like it is a personal discipline you simply lack. It is not. It is the single most contested resource on Earth, and there is an entire industry that gets richer every time you fail to climb. Focus was never a productivity tip. It was the one thing you own that everyone is trying to take. So the next time you cannot hold a single thought, do not call yourself weak. Call it what it is. You are standing at the bottom of a ladder that someone built to keep you there. The climb is the whole point, and the climb is yours.